Boom! Yo, what's up? Check it out. Your life is broken into two halves. If you don't realize this, you are cruising for a bruising, as my mama used to say, okay? The first half of your life, and this I just like, I've always known this, but just realized it this morning. Y'all let me know if you think I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm just gonna get that done for you. Is a building phase. The first part of your life is about building, and it's about creating, erecting your empire, your monument by the grace of God. What it is He put you here to do and get done. You're gaining strength, you're gaining beauty, you're gaining maturity, you're gaining intelligence, you're gaining relationships, you're gaining finances, you're doing all these things. And it's this, the whole first part, you know, it's all of this. And you're going as far and as fast and as hard as you can. You know, I always say that Hail Mary pass is up there to the end zone, and you're running, you're looking over your shoulder, you're running. Hopefully you're running from weaker versions of yourself, and you're creating a strong version of yourself that can do what you were put here to do. The first half of your life is about gaining and getting as far as you can. But the thing about life is, you know, when they say like Jesus was tested on every side, I believe that, because the thing about life is, you know, when I hear people sit here and they're like, I would never do that. I could never do that. How do people even do this? Like, it is to me a gross lack of awareness. I mean, like, yeah, I'm a double psychology major. I got my master's in psych and my bachelor's in psych. But you know, and that's forensic psychology and counseling and psychology. So like, I've been interested in this stuff, and I've been reading psychology books since 2011. But what I've learned also through being in combat and being in war in Iraq, and also working with billionaires for the last 10 years straight, and seeing so many different shades of life, you're capable of everything, okay? And there's power in realizing that your flesh, the beast within you, exists. Because when you realize that and you are deliberate about managing that, you lessen the probability of becoming that. Nonetheless, that's another rabbit hole. It's the people that don't think they're capable of things that are the very people that are capable of those things. Because they still got to learn that lesson and get blindsided by life. Anyways, rabbit hole. The first part of your life is about growing and building and fighting. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, the last half of your life after you pass a certain threshold, and that age is different for each and every one of us based on how we live the first part of our life. The reality of the second part of your life after you pass a certain threshold that has to do with the way you live the first part of your life is about giving up things. It's about dying. It's about losing. It's about having things get stripped away from you. And what is so intensely beautiful and deep and profound about that is simply that if you're not careful in the first phase of your life, you will over-identify with your Pyrrhic few victories. You will over-identify with the couples of things that you did right, the couple of things you did. It's kind of like having a girlfriend that's really beautiful for the first time. You have one girlfriend that's really beautiful. You are going to marry her, and you think she is the every single ever thing ever in the whole universe, right? And you essentially damage the relationship because you over-identify with the relationship, and she becomes your everything, which is not actually the way things are supposed to be balanced. Women don't generally want good men. They want men that are good at being men. That means men that are confident, driven, can provide, can protect. And you can't do that if your whole entire universe is centered around any other human being, especially one female, any person outside of you, or especially a female, or any human outside of you for that matter. Your universe has to be centered around your God and your potential. That's it. Everything else is a byproduct of the levels you get to in that endeavor. Nonetheless, I sit here and I look at these people that waste the first half of their life, and then they have one victory, a career, anything, and they over-identify with that, and it makes them very ill-prepared for the second half of life. I believe it has a lot to do with why a lot of veterans commit suicide after they get out of the military, and they're suffering from the good old day paralysis. the atrophy of identity begins to happen, where you see yourself in the mirror and your reflection is so starkly and drastically and disturbingly different than who you used to be, that you drink yourself, you drug yourself, and you kill yourself. It's a serious inner psychic problem that a lot of people have. But what I'm trying to tell you is to prepare you for the reality that during your time of building, you must realize the truth. And the truth is simply that as a human in this reality, you've been given the gift and the ability, the most wonderful gift in the universe, which is conscious choice. You can choose. And if you learn to choose, and if you learn the path of productivity, if you learn to step on the path of unlocking your potential, you realize that even when everything's being stripped, you are not that thing that's being taken away. When my body begins to fail and my strength is leaving me, what is going to hold me over is the grace of God and the realization that I was always more than my physical strength. I was always more than this relationship. I was always more than these things I've acquired, than these things I've created, than these external things. I'm a being. I have the ability, the power to choose. Like Viktor Frankl talks about in Man's Search for Meaning, when he's literally in the internment camps and everyone he knows is being incinerated, and he's under the threat of being incinerated moment by moment, day by day. And he talks about the choice, the will to meaning, the choice of being happy, the ability we have to find purpose in every single moment, in every single thing that will either empower us or disempower us. That's what I wrote my book on, Finding Meaning After the Military. But you can go to my website, check that out, shameless plug. But what I'm sitting here trying to tell you is you need to do enough things during the first half of your life to realize that your true identity doesn't lie within your results, even though your results give you the feedback that tells you, I've killed the lion, I've killed the bear, I'm going to kill this Philistine. By the grace of God, I know who I am and what I am. So that when those things aren't taken away from you, you can age gracefully. You can move into the second half of life beautifully, where the soft skills become much more important, and the things that you've done during the first half of your life as you were building can carry you over. So I hope that made sense to you. But that time is coming. Do things now aggressively to realize your personal value, to realize your identity, so you can serve the world in higher and higher levels after these simple tools that you've been given by default begin to fail you. Anyways, I make these videos because I love you guys. Visit me at ByronRodgers.com or ByronRodgersMotivation.com. Listen to my podcast, ExecutiveProtectionLifestyle.com, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Out.